Welcome back to the Autolite Nationals. We're at Sears Point Raceway. You see on the track the nitro-burning funny cars. Down at the far end of the racetrack, Alan Reinhardt with the Pro Stock winner.
Not just the Pro Stock winner, but Brad Hayes, Senior Vice President Sales for Allied Signal, and of course Jackie Beck, Miss Winston, presenting trophies, presenting medals. Jim, this place has been good to you.
I'll tell you, I love California and I love Sonoma. You know, the Split Fire Peak crew's done such a good job today, and just had a great day.
Kurt started off ahead of the pack, but these guys kept chipping away until they beat him in the final.
If you have an underdog in the final of funny cars, it's got to be Frank Pedregon, but yet he's run very well when he's made it all the way down the racetrack. Remember earlier on, he broke that throttle linkage after having a very aggressive 60-foot time. He's driving Jim Dunn's car, but with Bazemore, with that unbelievable time earlier, I'm telling you, at a 487, he sent everybody back. Phil Stevens is on the line.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a mountain for Frank Pedregon to climb. However, let's go back to last year when he won his second national event in St. Louis. He beat the Kendall car with Chuck Etchels behind the wheel, but that was a year ago.
I think Tim Richards, the man directing Whit into the staging lane, is definitely got a handle on the tune-up.
Definitely. This is the third final round in a row. His car's been looking strong.
And watch the last few hundred feet charge if he doesn't smoke the tire. Beautiful runs by Whit Bazemore. This one a 496 and 301 miles an hour. Frank was out of it at the hit of the throttle. He smoked the tires. You'll see it here on our replay. But Whit Bazemore has won his third consecutive final round appearance. He almost blew the tires off of it as well, Shelley.
He really hazed him at the hit, but you know, this team's running so good, so strong. Tony better look out.
Tony better look out. A lot of folks better look out. Whit Bazemore is definitely here. Tony, of course, she is referring to Tony Pedregon, who's second in the Winston chase. But Whit closing in, and you're riding with him on the winning run. So Whit Bazemore, your funny car champion here of this, the 12th annual Autolite Nationals. Alan Reinhardt.
Whit Bazemore stops on the racetrack and starts the celebration. First win as a hired gun for Chuck Etchell.
And first win for Chevrolet, for Chuck, for Team Kendall. It's just awesome. Got to say happy birthday to Lacey, little friend of mine in Charlotte. Happy birthday. But, man, we're excited, you know, for all the sponsors that make this possible. Kendall, of course, Super Winch, CD2, Snap-on, Mighty Auto Parts. They've all been great. And I really got to thank Chuck Etchels for putting me in this car. But really, Tim and Kim Richards, this whole Kendall team, man, they are just outstanding.
Third time was a charm. We got to get that car off the track so we can run the Top Fuel final.
You bet. That Chevy Camaro body obviously working very well for that Kendall team. ESPN Speed World coverage of the 12th annual NHRA Autolite Nationals has been brought to you by the more than 2,700 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Miller Lite, taste a true Pilsner. As they're working to get Whit's car off the far end of the racetrack, guess what? We've got a point standing for you to show you. After 14 races, John Force is continuing to hold a big lead, but Whit is closing in on Tony. Frank Pedregon jumps all the way up into the fourth spot.
Frank's car has been strong. You know, it ran good here. Hopefully they continue it on, and maybe they can move up in points.
Interesting pairing coming up. Our Top Fuel final. The kings of the sport, the 330-mile-an-hour cars. There you're looking at Tony Pedregon. He's already run 300. Tony Schumacher, rather. He's already run 320 miles an hour twice this weekend. And it is on a racetrack that most racers consider marginal. But this man, the defending champion of this Autolite National, has been superb.
Runner-ups the last two races. Only 1/100th of a second, just like Pro Stock, separates these cars going into the final round. Lane choice did go to Tony Schumacher, but Doug Coletta is driving well all day. This race right here could be won on a hole shot.
Round number 2. Round number 3 for Doug Coletta. He had 4:75 reaction time. Remember, 4:00 is perfect. So he was 75 thousandths of a second away from a perfect light. Tough to get somewhat in a top fuel car, much below 450, 440. Even though the car reacts quicker than a money car, still tough to do. Let's go to Bill.
Just a few minutes ago, I spoke to Dan Olson, the crew chief for Tony Schumacher. I said, Dan, did you hop it up? He said, look, he says, me and Ed McCullough go back years. We used to race each other in Fresno. Do you think he hopped up his car? This is personal.
You're live on the starting line at Sears Point Raceway as Ed McCullough says, go get him. Dan Olson, just a quick glance at Tony Schumacher. Tony knows what he has to do. Doug Coletta for the second year in a row is the Autolite Nationals champion, and the celebration begins with the Kitty Hawk team. A big hug to Ed the Ace McCullough, a great driver in his own right, now turning into a super crew chief. Problems for Tony Schumacher, big explosion. The supercharger coming off the car as Doug Coletta streaked to the finish line and once again had the reaction time advantage. His time 4:61 at 315 miles an hour. The point standings in this oh-so-tight top fuel race. Look at that, 17 points back. Kenny Bernstein behind Mike Dunn. Tony Schumacher is in fourth. Doug Coletta is fifth. Let's go to Allen.
Doug Coletta, I got him. Whit Bazemore must have the same voodoo doll or something. 2 runner-ups in the win.
Yeah, I tell you, it's a real pleasure. I tell you, these don't come up real easy these days. You know, happy to have Kitty Hawk and the home Kitty Hawk team backing us. You know, Mac Tools, Snap-on, not Snap-on, but good year. I tell you, it's just great.
We undefeated at Sonoma.
All right, we hope you've enjoyed it. Shelley, from all of us, we know your impending marriage is coming up, and good luck to you and Jay Payne. We wish you the very best. For Shelley and Alan and Bill, I'm Dave McClellan. So long from Sonoma. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Proud to be celebrating our 20th anniversary. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
Hold it up.